She doesn't even know why she's feeling it. Her heart beats faster, her guard drops, and suddenly, she's drawn to you, thinking about you, wanting you, not because of what you said, but because of how you made her feel. That's the difference between attraction and activation. You see, most men focus on surface-level charm, compliments, looks, status, but real seduction? It happens in the mind, not the mirror. And when you understand how to trigger her emotional circuitry, you don't just get her attention, you bypass her logic and speak to something deeper. These aren't tricks, these are instincts, psychological switches that flip her desire from dormant to obsessed. And once you learn to activate them, you'll never need to chase again. Trigger 1. The unexpected calm. She's used to men being either aggressive or eager, too much intensity, too fast, too many compliments, too much talking. But when you enter her space with calm, grounded energy, something inside her pays attention. You're not trying to win her. You're not trying to prove anything. You're simply there, anchored, silent, composed. And that calmness, it disrupts her pattern because it doesn't signal need, it signals power. A man who can stay calm in the face of beauty, emotion, or tension, that's rare, and in her subconscious, that rarity flips the first switch. She begins to feel curious, not because of what you've done, but because of what you didn't do. You didn't chase, you didn't fold, you didn't react, you just remained, and that is where attraction starts. Trigger 2. Emotional contrast. She doesn't crave constant intensity, she craves variability. The shifts, the unexpected silence, the subtle change in your gaze, because her emotions move in waves, and when you mirror that rhythm with masculine control, you don't just match her, you lead her. Sometimes you're warm and open, other times distant and unreadable. You're never cold, but you're never fully available either. And that contrast, it creates tension. Tension she doesn't even realize she wants. Because while most men are either too soft or too hard, you're fluid, but grounded, unpredictable, but consistent. And that emotional polarity, that dance between presence and detachment, makes you unforgettable. She doesn't know what you'll do next. And that unknown keeps her mind locked on you, not for attention, but for clarity she'll never fully get. If this is hitting something real for you, then don't just watch from the sidelines. Hit subscribe right now and step into the mindset that most men will never reach. Let's keep building the man they'll never forget. Trigger 3. Controlled eye contact. Most men look away too fast. Others stare too long, trying to impress, trying to dominate. But you look with stillness, with certainty, not searching, not demanding, just present. When your eyes don't flinch, when they hold hers without urgency, she feels something primal, a pull she can't explain. It tells her, you see her, you're aware of her, but you're not moved by her. And that changes everything. Because now, she starts wondering, is he into me? Is he testing me? Is he waiting for me to break? And the moment she starts thinking about what you're thinking, you've already stepped into her mind, not with words, but with focus. Silent, masculine focus that makes her feel fully seen without giving her the power to define it. Trigger 4. Unapologetic boundaries. She might not say it, but she tests to see where you stand, how much you'll tolerate, how far she can push. And most men fold. They say yes when they mean no. They laugh at what bothers them. They adjust who they are just to keep her close. But the man who holds his boundaries with calm, that man feels safe and dangerous Because he doesn't argue, he doesn't justify, he simply decides. You don't raise your voice, you don't over-explain, you just say, "That doesn't work for me," and let the silence handle the rest. That still, solid line in the sand, it sends a signal to her nervous system. This man knows who he is, and that certainty, that refusal to bend for approval, awakens a deep respect inside her. And respect is the foundation of desire. Trigger 5. Delayed responses. Instant reaction is weakness, and she knows it, deep down. Most men jump to reply. They text back fast. They fill every silence to avoid discomfort. But the man who pauses, who thinks, who chooses when and if he responds, he shifts the dynamic completely. You're not ignoring her. You're pacing the interaction. You're letting her feel the space between stimulus and response. And in that space, she feels uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, desire grows. Because now you've disrupted the script. She can't predict you. She doesn't know where she stands. She starts questioning her impact on you. And that question is powerful because it moves her from confidence to curiosity. And once she's curious, she's hooked. Not because you gave more, but because you gave less, with precision. Trigger 6. Purpose over pursuit. She can feel it instantly, whether you're centered or orbiting her. The man who's guided by mission, who doesn't abandon his focus just because she appears, that man becomes magnetic. You don't pause your path to entertain her. You don't delay your goals to gain favor. You stay in motion, clear, calm, and locked in. That momentum, it tells her you have something bigger than her attention. And paradoxically, that's what draws her in. Because purpose is rare, discipline is rare. A man who doesn't detour for validation is unforgettable. You're not trying to impress her. You're showing her a life that already has direction and giving her the option to come along. That's when she leans in, not to be your mission, but to be part of it. And that's the moment her desire shifts from interest to obsession. You didn't seduce her with words. You didn't charm her with tricks. You simply triggered what was already inside her. Desire, curiosity, respect. You moved with calm. You watched without reacting. You spoke less and said more. And that's what made the difference. Because the men who try to convince her fade fast, but the man who activates her, he stays in her head, in her body, in her thoughts at night. This is the Stoic path where psychology meets presence, where attraction isn't chased, it's drawn in. Subscribe, stay composed, and remember, when you master the mind, you never have to chase the heart. Now I want to hear from you. What hit hardest in this video, and what do you want to see next? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.